We are live with Stu McLaren. Yeah!
Hello!
Now, Stu, a lot of my audience might not know who Stu is. So, my audience are massage therapists, healthcare professionals, fitness professionals, and they know that my audience that I'm up to nonsense and what I'm doing. But tell us a little bit about Stu McLaren.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here. Little back history is that I used to own a consulting business, and it was going really well. Like, it was going great, in fact. Except when I got married, I realized that things were going to need to change. And the reason is because my wife and I, we began talking about, starting a family. And with the business that I had, I was up early, I was up late, and I was burning the candle at both ends. And I realized the only way to grow that business was to give more time. And I didn't have any more time to give. And if I wanted to be a husband and a father that was present, then something had to change. And so, long story short, a mentor and friend of mine suggested that I start a membership. And he said, Stu, it's a great way to take what you're already doing and create leverage by teaching a whole lot more people, but there's no limits on how much you can scale that. And so I did. I went down that path. But then this was back in 2008. So 12, golly, how many years? A long time ago. And long story short, like, the tech back then wasn't what it is today. And I was getting all caught up in, server settings and HD access files. And it was way over my head. So I spoke to a friend of mine, Tracy, and I was just moaning and groaning to him. I said, dude, I just want to teach. Like, I don't want to get stuck and doing all the things. I just want to teach. And he said, well, what would you do if you could create the ultimate membership platform? And I said, I would do this, I do that, blah, blah, blah. And he said, so why don't you create it? And I said, did you not hear anything that I just said? Like, I am not good with tech. Like, I can't deal with that stuff. And he said, well, why don't we team up and create it together? And we did. And it went on to become the world's #1 membership platform for WordPress. And before long, we were powering tens of thousands of communities and memberships in all kinds of different markets, from photography and calligraphy to fitness and finance and music and art and health and dog training and so many more. And in doing that, I started to pay attention to what were the sites that were growing year over year doing differently than those that weren't. And I started to see some trends. And that's what really got me excited, because those were best practices that could be applied to virtually any market. And I started teaching it. And now here we are, where I've been teaching tens of thousands of people of how to do that and how to create memberships that continue to grow year over year, no matter what market you're in or what type of business you have, whether it's a product-based business, service-based business, knowledge-based business, or community-based business. And it's my pride and joy. Nothing lights me up more than seeing business owners add recurring revenue into their business, especially after the last year. Like, with what's happened, like, oh my gosh, those who have recurring revenue in their business haven't experienced anywhere near the stress of those who do not. And this is why I'm passionate about this, because I want to help business owners generate recurring revenue in their business with memberships.
Oh, amen to all that. Oh my goodness, yeah. And I am one of them, Stu. I joined Tribe last year. I nearly joined it the year before, and I chickened out, and I was so silly not to do that. So silly. And I was raging that I missed that cut out. Raging, that's a Scottish word.
Yeah, I love it.
Pure raging. And it was the best decision I have done for my business. And I'll tell you that now, Stu. I'm never really one for the big fat, like, sharing my wins. I'm always that wee person going, oh, I got a really good win. But my goodness, and I'm a service-based business, and a lot of the people who are in my kind of tribe are similar. And it's, I want to pick your brains here for these guys, right? Because this is the stumbling blocks that when I'm explaining to them, I think I overwhelm them a little bit. So I need you to simplify this for me. So when you're a service-based business, right, you're exchanging time for money, Stu, right? Talk to me about that. Like, how would you explain how they can do that in real Stu simple terms? Because SG has a habit of complicating things.
Well, I think there are multiple ways to think about it. Like, in its most simple form, if we want to think about recurring revenue, what I'd encourage the service-based businesses to ask themselves is, how could I take a customer who comes into me and gets the service one time and take that customer and serve them every single month? And I'll give you a couple of examples. Like, there's a barber shop in Toronto that has a membership. So instead of hoping that their customers are going to come back and get a cut again, they created a membership that they encourage their customers to join, which gets them a certain number of cuts each month. But they know with certainty that they're going to get paid by however many customers belong to that membership. There's a massage studio here in where we live, and it's a franchise called Massage Addict, and they sell massages on subscription. So again, they're not hoping that people are going to come back. They know with certainty that they are going to get paid from these customers. I'll give you another example. That's the last time I was in San Francisco, I was walking through the mall and I was a little thirsty. So I went up to this to get a green juice. And so I come up to this green juice, kiosk, and I look at the menu, and they've got like the regular price, and then they've got the member price. And I said, "What is this member price you speak of?" And they're like, "Oh, well, we've got a membership." And I said, "Tell me more." So they said it was real simple. You pay $10 a month and you get 2 free green juices. And then any green juice thereafter, you get at the member discount. And I was like, done, easy peasy. Now, but what does that do for that business? Like, now they know with certainty, again, that they're going to get paid by the hundreds or thousands of members that belong to that membership. So in its most simple form for a service-based business, I would just ask the question, how can you take what you're already doing and provide more of it on a more consistent basis to your clients or customers? That's number one. But number two is that so often we underestimate what we know and the value we can create. And this creates a whole nother area of opportunity where we can teach people what it is that we're doing and how we're helping and servicing people. And this is where the knowledge-based memberships really flourish and thrive. And in this past year, we've seen all kinds of particularly fitness professionals who've transitioned to, instead of teaching and helping their clients one-on-one, teaching from a virtual environment. Like, heck, I'm sitting in front of the Peloton, like the Peloton, what is that? It's nothing more than a glorified membership. Instead of selling the Peloton one time, they sell it and include a membership along with it, which gets people access to different classes, etc. So there's ways in which we can take what we're doing and repackage it and create more leverage in a membership. There's also ways to take what we're doing and teaching it to help people, whether it's teaching people to eat better, to, there was a great example of a membership from our community over in Australia. She was a chef. And so what did she do? She created a membership that provides healthy recipe plans. And then she shows in the membership how to prepare those meals. And it's taken off. It's been a game changer for her and her husband. And so there's all kinds of ways to take what we're already doing and repackage it, either in, providing people more of what we provide, or creating more leverage and providing it in a different way instead of in person, virtual, and therefore allowing us to reach more people, or teaching people what it is that we're doing and creating a membership site around that.
Oh, Stu, see, you blow our minds, and I love how you keep it so simple. When people ask me how I've done what I've done, because that's exactly what I did. I have that Tribe has given me by creating these memberships in my bricks and mortar business. I have recurring revenue that I know is coming in. I can confidently make decisions about my business, and it's growing. I'm not hustling every month. Will my diary fill? Will I have it's packed? It's always busy. But also I know I can take on more staff. So that's what I'm about to do now. I'm bringing in more people because I have the confidence and I know I have the cash flow, and that membership is then building. And I took all of Stu's stuff. For those of you out there, I took all of Stu's stuff and I just did what I was told. I did what I was told. I just did it. I worked my way, created that success path, Stu. But that, I know we're not talking about that tonight, but that was it. That was it. And I
I want to ask you some questions. So let's talk about this. Like, what does your membership look like? Give people a sense of like, how you are providing what it is you are inside your membership.
Sure. So for me, I have a bricks and mortar business. Last year we were closed. We were closed. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And just as all the world went crazy, Stu McLaren was lunch and drive. And I thought, do you know what? Sod it. I'm going to do it. So that's what I did. And I launched my founding members launch. And I couldn't open at that time. But what I did was I gave the opportunity to get in early at that founding member launch. And they would be grandparented in at that price. As long as they remained a member, that price would never go up. And guess what they did, Stu? Guess what they did? People bought my services knowing full well that they didn't know when I was going to open back up, but they knew I would, and they trusted, and they paid me monthly. So yes, they accrued, but I had that financial stability all through lockdown. And plus I had an amazing business to go back to. And not only that, I have grown that membership and continue to grow it. That then means that I've been able to completely refurbish, completely, bringing on new staff, just do things that I would never have had the confidence to do. And all I did was I just did what you told me. It was a service-based business. I'm a podiatrist, but also a massage therapist, and I have a big Pilates studio. So I incorporated those services. And that was it. So whether you're a massage therapist or whether you're in healthcare, physiotherapy, your patients they just want you to tell them, you need to come this often. Here, I'll sign you up to this membership. The money comes out every month. They don't even need to think about it. And you provide them that service. But not only that, Stu, because of learning from you, I then built onto the back of that the knowledge base. So I now have back end memberships too. So they come through, I've got courses and memberships that have all just happened as a result of just learning from going through the tribe experience. I don't want to blow people's minds away with that, because it might be like, wow, what is all that? But what it means is that I am selling services without seeing people. I don't have to exchange time for money for everything I sell. So I have courses that they can go through. And I also have back-end memberships where I support them. And it's a game changer, massive game changer.
I just want to commend you for, taking action and making it happen, because, it's interesting because I actually went and got a massage 2 weeks ago. And it was a great massage. And listen, I'm active all the time. Like I'm on the Peloton, like I pride myself every single day, And
we see
and I know I need to get more regular massages. But what's interesting is like, I only get a massage, this is, I know, terrible for all of your audience listening, but I forget. And I only get it when I'm like, I can really feel the tension. And what I know to be true is I need to be more consistent and more regular. If that massage studio that I went to had a membership and we just, scheduled those in, I would be more consistent. And so why I'm sharing this is that it's not only just about what it can do for us and our businesses, but it's also that we're showing up and helping our people in a better way. And that's what they need as well. And so like as massage therapists, like you're doing them a favor in creating that consistency of them coming in on a more regular basis. So I just think this whole model, I know this whole model is a huge win for everybody that's involved. But all it takes is just a slight shift in the way that we think about doing business to something towards a subscription and membership model.
Yes. And Stu, just to pick up on what you said there about serving our patients and our clients better. Oh my goodness, the results that you get for your patients when they're consistent and you have the confidence to say, you need this membership, and then they sign up to it. You don't need to, there's none of this weird paying at the end. It's all done. It's all paid for. It's all good. And actually what I was saying to some other professionals was, it's weird when people come in, they want to spend more money with me. So they buy stuff. They buy foam rollers and they buy creams and stuff just because they're like, oh, I should be spending more money. It's
it's a whole different world.
It's insane. But I suppose one of the other big objections that I wanted to throw at you here, right? We've got so many people that will say, Sarah Jane, I am so rubbish at all the tech. It sounds so complicated. Where do I start? What would you say to that, Stu?
Well, I would say that you can make it as complicated or as simple as you want. So if you want to keep it simple, then keep it simple. Like, here's a perfect example. There's a woman in our community. Her name's Cheryl Hatch, and she was not very technical. And it was the thing that was preventing her from moving forward with the membership idea that she had. And so she asked herself a really powerful question. And this is the question I encourage everybody to write down and ask themselves. The question she asked was, how can I keep this super simple? How can I keep this super simple? Now, in her, what she was looking to do is she was looking to teach people. And so she said, I'm really comfortable with Facebook, like a Facebook group, and I'm really comfortable with email. So she created a Facebook group for the community, and then she delivered the content for her membership via email every week. So she didn't even have a members area. And the amazing part about this was that she welcomed more than 600 paying members over a 2-year period before she ever thought about creating a members area. So the point is that you can make this as complex or as simple as you want. My advice in the beginning, make it as simple as humanly possible, because that is going to alleviate so many friction points that prevent you from getting going. And most importantly, it's going to get you going. And when you get going and you got that momentum, oh my gosh, that's when it starts to, you starts to build, and you'll overcome all kinds of challenges after that point, because you got momentum on your side. So keep it simple, especially in the beginning. And I just encourage people to think of Cheryl Hatch. Email, Facebook group, bada bing, bada boom. 2 years later, more than 600 members.
It's just awesome. I'm so glad that you brought Cheryl up, because that's one of the big stumbling blocks. I love tech, I love learning, so that's fine. But a lot of people don't. So yeah, you don't need to have it all singing, all dancing. And I love how you'll always say it doesn't need to be perfect. Just get it going. Just get it going. And the number of people that get stopped and stumble because they think that something has to be perfect. Every email sequence has to be perfect. No, just start. Let's go.
Well, and you know what's interesting about this is, like, the thing that prevents most of us has nothing to do with not knowing what to do, etc. It's all up in our head. We get ourselves all tripped up and overthink and overanalyze, and we get ourselves all twisted up that we never take that next step. But the most important thing we do is we just got to take the next right step. And, the interesting part is that in my decades of literally helping tens of thousands of business owners launch memberships, I have never, ever seen a membership that's the same the day they launch as it is 3 months later, 6 months later, 12 months later. Like, memberships are always changing, and they're changing because we're dialing in the experience based on our members' needs. So to have the thought that it's got to be perfect when you launch, there's no such thing. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to make changes anyway. So get in and get started earlier and start working with people. That's where you get the real insight of what changes to make to really dial that experience in. You're never going to think your way to perfection. The only way you're going to make it happen is by getting into action and discovering what it is that your members really need.
And letting your members tell you what they need, letting them help you. Yeah.
Speak it. Yes, exactly.
Let them help. Right. I've got one last thing that I want to ask you. I know you're like mega busy just now, so I am not going to keep you one moment over you need. So one of the big things I want to talk about, the upcoming workshop. So for loads of people, they'll be listening to us right now, right? They'll be like, yeah. Okay. Where do I start? Come on, guys. How do I even get going with this? So let's talk about the workshop. What is happening on the 22nd of April, Stu?
Well, I'm really excited about this, because one time a year, we host a free workshop where we help you as the business owner get clarity on, like, what type of membership would be a good fit for your business and your market, and what membership model should you choose. We'll help you get the clarity around that. If you got questions around, like, well, what do I actually provide in the membership, or how do I get members and keep members? We'll talk about that and unpack that too. And here's the thing, this membership has one purpose. And that's to help you get the clarity of knowing how to move forward with a membership. And more importantly, helping you gain the momentum and actually making it happen. And last year, for the first time ever, we held this workshop live. And oh my gosh, it was magical. Like, there was so much energy that was created during the live experience that what happened is more people launched their membership during the free workshop than we've ever seen before. Like, I think of Steph McFadden. Yeah. So I think of Steph McFadden. She had a brick and mortar microblading studio. Now, clearly through my big bushy eyebrows, I had no idea what a microblading studio was, but she basically helps women shape their eyebrows. Yeah. And so anyway, her business got shut down because of COVID. So during the workshop, she's like, I'm going to make something happen. So she took what we will teach in the first part of the workshop, aka make sure you're there on April 22nd. But she took what we teach in that first part of the workshop and she put it into practice. And she didn't have like a huge audience of tens of thousands or thousands. She had her local audience of customers of just a couple hundred people. But she launched her membership and she didn't have anything yet. It was the idea of the membership, which we'll talk to you about. And she welcomed more than 110 of those 200 customers, generated over $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue. And it was a game changer for her because at that time, as I said, the business was shut down. No new revenue was coming in, yet she still had rent. She still had employees to pay. So for her, this was a game changer. And this happened during the free workshop. So this is why I just want to encourage everybody, come and join us, because am I passionate about this? You bet your bottom dollar. And the reason is because every single business owner should have some form of recurring revenue in their business. Because if the last year has taught us anything, it's that we don't know what's going to happen. But what I do know is that those who've got recurring revenue don't experience anywhere near the stress of those that don't. That's why I want to help you. Come join us for the free workshop. And I'm sure you'll hook them up with the link and where to go and find out all the info. But April 22nd, come join us.
The link is underneath this description, guys. It's there already. So if you just scroll down, it is there. I'll take you straight to Stu's page. I just want to say a massive big thank you. I was there on that live training, Stu. I was one of those people that took action as well. And I remember hearing the microblading lady's story and being so inspired by it. And it was one of the reasons that I then sawed it. Let's just give this a try. And you're right. It took away that scarcity mindset and allowed me to have this income coming in that gave me the confidence to then reinvest, bring in staff and go for it, build walls, build new clinic rooms. It's not the time to fully brag about me, but it's I would honestly say
it is the time.
I don't
listen. Why this is important is because it shows people what's possible. And listen, we gotta show up for people. And the way in which we show up is we share these stories. So I want to honor you. I really do. I want to honor you, Sarah Jane, because at the end of the day, you heard an idea. And instead of just letting that idea sit and simmer, you took action on it. And look what's happened as a result of that. It's created momentum. That's what's possible for everybody. And so I just want to encourage everybody, use Sarah Jane as a great example. She heard an idea concept and just took action on it. That's what this is about.
Yeah. Life-changing, Stu. Life-changing. That's honestly, really. So anybody watching this, if you're watching this in the replay, just join Stu's workshop. That's all I would say for you to do. Just do the workshop. I'm telling you, he will blow your mind. He gives so much value. It will take notes. Just take notes. But
buckle your seatbelts. It's coming.
Hanging. Stu, thank you so much for your time. I absolutely love your work. I'm there, Tribe again this year on that Tribe ride. I love it. I've got another business that's happened as a result of all of this, people asking for help. So I've only got you and the Tribe team and the Tribe community. That is awesome to thank. It really has been life-changing, and I don't say that lightly. Thank you, Stu.
I'm excited for you, buddy. I'm excited for you, what's happened. I'm excited for where it's going. And thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to seeing you and everybody on April 22nd.
Thank you, Stu.
See you, buddy.
Later.
Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.